looking at the financial center. Three of us, two broken windows. Oh, God!
There are 911 calls that haunt you, and then there's the one from Ruth Price. A chilling voice, an address whispered through fear, and then a scream that cuts off the line forever. This isn't a horror movie, this was real. And the most terrifying part, they never found her. Ruth Price was 72 years old. She lived alone in a small ground-floor apartment in California. She didn't have family nearby. Her neighbors barely knew her, but for days, she told the few people she did speak to that something was wrong. She said she heard scratching at her windows at night, that she would see shadows standing behind her curtains, that someone was watching her. But every time the police came, nothing was there. They chalked it up to nerves, to paranoia, to age. On a quiet evening in 1992, just after 9 p.m., Ruth called 911. Her voice was shaky, almost like she didn't want whoever was outside to hear her. She gave her address, 3877, then suddenly...
This is Ruth Price of 3877. What's the problem, ma'am? Oh, well, there's some guy been checking the place out.
How?
Well, he went in the back. I have an apartment in the back, and he said he was looking for a guy. And he comes to my door, and
Yes?
said he's looking for an apartment. So I live alone, and I'm an old lady. And I'm kind of
Where is he now, ma'am?
I don't have no idea.
That was the last time anyone heard from her. Police were dispatched immediately. When they arrived at 3877 Elm Avenue, they knocked. No answer. They forced the door open, and what they found was nothing. No blood, no broken furniture, no body, no Ruth. Her purse was still by the couch, the tea kettle was still warm, the phone was off the hook, swinging slightly, but she was gone. The only strange thing they noticed, a small muddy footprint on the inside of the back door. It didn't match Ruth's. For decades, people debated the recording. Some claimed it was just a police training exercise. Others insist it's real, and that Ruth was taken by someone who knew how to leave no trace. Conspiracy theorists believe it was a serial killer who targeted elderly women living alone in the 90s, cases that were never connected. One anonymous former dispatcher even claimed that she took similar calls, where the caller vanished before help ever arrived. To this day, the Ruth Price call circulates on forums and YouTube, debated endlessly. But here's what's chilling. The scream? It doesn't sound like someone acting. It sounds like someone watching death enter the room. Ruth Price may have been forgotten in police records, but her voice, her fear, and her final moments are now a permanent part of internet horror history. And somewhere out there, if this was real, the person who made her scream is still free. September 11th, 2001. A date now carved into history, but for millions it started like any other Tuesday. Kevin Cosgrove was one of them, an insurance executive, father of 3, and senior vice president at Aon Corporation. That morning he arrived at his office on the 105th floor of the South Tower, completely unaware that in less than an hour, he'd be fighting for his life. 9 a.m., coffee cups half empty, voicemails being checked, phones ringing. From Kevin's corner office, you could see the Statue of Liberty. Then it happened. At 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. The impact struck between the 77th and 85th floors. Kevin was trapped 20 stories above the flames. Smoke filled the halls. The walls warped from heat. Windows began to shatter from pressure. Kevin and 2 co-workers, Douglas Cherry and Brady Howell, tried to find an escape, but the stairwells were destroyed. The elevators melted shut. They were stuck on the 105th floor, waiting, breathing in more smoke than air. At 9:54 a.m., Kevin Cosgrove picked up the phone and dialed 911.
What's the telephone number? I'm waiting for MC to pick up. What's the telephone number you're calling? You can do MC. You can do MC 441-2623. 441-2623. It's on 105th corner, northwest corner, right? Right. At number 2 World Trade Center, right. Lady is feverish in this office. We're not ready to die, but it's getting bad. I understand, sir. We just don't try to get all the apparatus there. I'm trying to let them know where you are.
People are jumping now. They're...
Okay, try to calm down so you can conserve your oxygen, okay? Try to...
Thank God to blow you in from the list. It's really bad. It's black. It's iron. Does anybody else want to try in here? These young men, we're not ready to die. I'm sure. I don't need to get my ass down. I need oxygen. John Ashford's office. OST. ARU. ARU. Right, that's the office we're at. There's 3 of us in here. OST ARU. Hello? Hello? We're looking at financial center. 3 of us, 2 broken windows. Oh, God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I told you! Oh my God! All these people! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh baby, hold her leg. Oh my God!
Come on, let's go to the other room.
Yeah. Is this dangerous?
I think it's just smoke.
There's no danger of other buildings. Is the air conditioner turned off in the room? And the windows closed in the bedroom?
Near the area are in an absolute crazy situation. The entire top of the building just collapsed.
The entire building just collapsed.
Building just collapsed.
We're going to leave because the smoke is coming right at us.
Obviously, this is a devastating trauma in our district. They're gone. The World Trade Center is no more.
The South Tower fell in just 10 seconds. Kevin Cosgrove, Douglas Cherry, and Brady Howell were all killed instantly. They never had a chance, but Kevin's voice, his courage, his heartbreak was captured forever. Years later, his call would echo in a courtroom, played during the trial of 9/11 conspirator Scariest Moussaoui. People wept, because it wasn't just audio, it was proof of the pain and humanity behind the headlines. Kevin wasn't a soldier, he wasn't in law enforcement, he was a father. He had just celebrated his son's birthday the week before. He loved baseball, he loved his family, and he died on the phone, begging for one more chance to live. There were nearly 3,000 people who died that day, but sometimes it takes one voice to remind us of every single soul lost. Kevin Cosgrove's final words are more than a 911 call. They are a reminder that on September 11th, behind every falling floor, behind every plume of smoke, was a human being. And some, like Kevin, made one final call so the world would never forget. Not every 911 call reaches a dispatcher. Some are never meant to be heard at all. In 2015, a man vanished after a night out with friends. He didn't leave a goodbye. He didn't leave a trace. He left a voicemail. A 2-minute recording of raw terror, screams, growls, and a voice that doesn't sound human. This is the story of Henry McCabe and the 911 voicemail that still haunts the internet. Henry McCabe was 32 years old, an auditor for the Minnesota Department of Revenue, a husband, a father of 2. He had no criminal history, no enemies, just a quiet life, until it ended. On the night of September 6, 2015, Henry went out with coworkers. He was last seen at a gas station around 2 a.m. That was the last time anyone saw him alive. Minutes later, someone received a voicemail from Henry's phone. It wasn't a pocket dial. It sounded like a desperate attempt to reach 911. But what they heard was something out of a nightmare. Months later, Henry's body was found floating in Rush Lake. No visible wounds, no trauma. Cause of death, drowning. But here's the twist. The lake was far from where the voicemail was sent, and his body showed no signs of foul play. Some believe it was staged. Others think he was attacked by someone, or something. Audio experts studied the voicemail and confirmed it was real. No editing, no fakery. And that final voice, calm, controlled, was not Henry. It didn't sound human at all. Henry didn't get to say goodbye. He left only a message, a voicemail that may have recorded the moment of his death, or something much worse. To this day, no one knows what really happened. All that remains is the sound of fear, the sound of something closing in, and a final whisper that still chills to the bone. You just heard the final voicemail of Henry McCabe, one of the most disturbing 911 recordings ever captured. 3 calls, 3 voices lost, 3 reminders that when fear calls, it doesn't always get an answer. This has been Bone Chill Tale. If you're still breathing, hit subscribe before the silence finds you too, because next time, the voice on the line might be yours.